students, in previous topic or previous video we have studied about the different experiments demonstrating the process of transpiration. We have studied depending upon the different types of aim of the experiment, like it takes place through aerial parts of the plant. The next aim of the experiment was to show that there was more stomata on the lower surface of dorsiventral leaf. Today's topic is about potometer. That is, we are going to measure the rate of water intake by an apparatus, by a plant, and hence to measure the rate of transpiration in it. So, the topic is potometer. Potometer. It is a device. It is a device used to measure rate of water intake. Rate of water intake by a plant. Since we know that out of the total water absorbed by the plant, only 2% is used in the life processes like photosynthesis, and rest of it is lost by transpiration. Hence, it also indirectly measures the rate of transpiration. So we can write here, and hence to measure rate of transpiration in a plant. Now, so this is potometer. The potometers are of different types, like the Ganong's potometer, the farmer's potometer is used to measure rate of water intake by a plant or cut shoot. Darwin's potometer is used to demonstrate the suction force created due to transpiration in a plant. Similarly, there is Goriot's potometer, which is used to show the different rate of transpiration on the two surfaces of dorsiventral leaf, or to show that there are more stomata on the lower surface of a dorsiventral leaf. Clear, student? Now, so we will study the two types of potometer here in detail. The first one is Ganong's potometer. Ganong's potometer. Directly experiment based question is asked. So, it is a device. It is a device to measure rate of water intake. Rate of water intake by a cut shoot. Cut shoot we can also write for it as a leafy twig. Leafy twig. Now, in Ganong's potometer, we will have some arrangements. Now, a student, this is the setup of Ganong's potometer. Now, here is the glass tube, and then there is a narrow horizontal capillary tube enclosed within the glass wall. Then it bends vertically downward, and the lower end is introduced or dipped in beaker containing colored water. Now, on this horizontal tube, the scale is also marked to measure the movement of the distance moved by air bubble through the tube. Now, here is the reservoir. In reservoir, now there is water is filled, and at the top of the water, oil is placed to prevent loss of water by simple evaporation from the free surface. Now, in the beginning, to start the experiment or to arrange the experimental setup, we cut a leafy twig obliquely by dipping in water. Now, it is cut obliquely like this to provide large surface area for sucking of water. Similarly, it is cut by dipping in water to prevent air from entering in its capillary tube. Clear, student? Now, the setup is arranged and kept in sunlight. When the transpiration will start, the water is sucked through the capillary tube or xylem vessel. In turn, colored water will start to rise up in this tube. Then, we will close the lower end of this tube like that, like this, and gently lift it above the surface of water in the beaker. Then release gently and allow air bubble to enter inside the tube. Now then it is again dipped. When the air bubble reach to the 0 mark of this scale, then we start a stopwatch, we start observation. We make a table on a paper and we record the distance moved by air bubble in 10 minutes. After that, suppose we have to restart the experiment. Then by opening this stopcock from the reservoir, water is introduced in the tube that pushes the air bubble back to its initial position, and again the experiment is started. Again the observation is started. In this way, we take the observation 3 to 4 times, and then the average distance moved in a given time is measured, recorded. That helps us to measure the rate of water intake by this cut soot. Clear, student? Now, here we have to write something about it. Suppose the oil prevents loss of water from the surface by evaporation. So this is the first point related to it. Then the second question is asked, what is the role of reservoir? Now here we see that reservoir is used to reset the position of air bubble in capillary tube to restart the experiment. That is, to restart the observation, we reset the air bubble position at its initial position. Next, the air bubble. What is the role of air bubble? The movement of air bubble in the capillary tube helps in measuring the amount of water intake by cut soot in a given time. So these are the three aspects which we have to study. The next question is asked related to Ganong spotometer, that what is the limitation of the Ganong spotometer. So we write here limitations. The first limitation is that the cut soot may not remain alive for long period. So we write here cut soot may not remain alive for long period. The reason is that it is not the rooted plant, so ultimately or gradually it will die. The next thing, the introduction of air bubble, the introduction of air bubble is not an easy task. Not an easy task. The reason is that if larger volume of air will enter, then it will not allow the water to move smoothly by exerting excess pressure. Now, next point, that is the apparatus is not portable. Not portable. The reason is that this is a big setup made up of glass, narrow capillary tube, the other glass tubes. So the setup is will not be carried from one place to another place easily. This setup is placed on a table, and then it has to be, the experiment has to be conducted. Now next, any change in physical conditions like temperature affects the position of air bubble. Affects the position of air bubble. So these are the 4 limitations or demerits of Ganong's potometer. Now this is about it. But sometimes the question is asked related to the observation for movement of air bubble under different conditions. It will be asked sometimes, like in board questions it has been asked already. So observations for air bubble, like you see, first of all, if the setup is normally placed in sunlight, then the smooth movement of air bubble will take place. So when setup is placed in sunlight, a smooth movement of air bubble will take place. In next case, suppose the setup is placed in darkness. Now in dark room, suppose the setup is placed in dark room, then no movement of air bubble. No movement of air bubble. The reason is that when setup is placed in dark room, there will be no transpiration taking place. The reason is that since in darkness there will be no photosynthesis, stomata will be closed, and hence there will be no transpiration. Third, in front of a fan. That is, suppose this setup is placed in front of a fan, then the wind, the air blowing will remove water vapor from the area around the tube, and hence the rate of transpiration will increase, due to which the rate of air bubble movement will be faster. So here rapid movement of air bubble takes place. Just we have discussed the reasoning related to it, that in front of a fan the water vapor is removed at faster rate away from it, and hence the rate of transpiration will be faster. So this is the question related to Ganong's potometer. Now the next topic or next type of the potometer which we have to study here, this question has been asked, although at the present it is not directly given in our chapter, but in the exercise this is given. The question was asked in board earlier, that is called Goriot's potometer. Goriot's potometer. Goriot's potometer. Now this is a device, the device to measure or to show that the rate of transpiration is faster on the lower surface of dorsiventral leaf, or we can say that is there are more stomata on the lower surface of dorsiventral leaf. So this is the Goriot's potometer. Now here is the diagram. Now this is the setup of Goriot's potometer. We see here we have taken a small garden plant, and on a dorsiventral leaf, that is on one of the leaf, we place two glass tubes tightly on the upper and lower surfaces. Around the glass tube we apply wax or grease to make it airtight. Now in the two tubes we place a small glass vial, V1 and V2. It contains anhydrous calcium chloride. It is suspended here, and then two manometers on the upper and lower tubes are fixed. Now the manometer is used to show that there will be the same atmospheric pressure on the two surfaces, or there is no change in atmospheric pressure during the experiment. So what are the roles of these are here? We see the vials V1 and V2 contain anhydrous calcium chloride. It absorbs water vapor. That will be lost during transpiration from the two surfaces. Then question is asked, what is the role of the manometer? The manometer is used to show that there is no change in atmospheric pressure on the two surfaces. Students, sometimes many students write that manometer is used to measure atmospheric pressure here, but manometer only measures pressure gauge, that is difference in pressure on the two sides. It is not used to measure atmospheric pressure. Now here is the role of manometer. Now how is the experiment conducted? Thus initially when we have to arrange this setup, then by taking anhydrous calcium chloride in vial V1 and V2, we take their weights. We weigh the V1 and V2 vials, and then they are suspended inside it. The setup is kept in sunlight for few hours. After few hours, the two vials are taken out and they are weighed again. We observe that the vial V1 shows greater increase in weight in comparison with V2. This is observation. Now what is the reason? On the lower surface there are more stomata, so more transpiration is taking place. As a result, anhydrous calcium chloride in vial V1 absorbs more water vapor than in vial V2. Clear, student? So we write here observation, or first of all we should write about the experiment. The vials containing anhydrous calcium chloride, anhydrous CaCl2 are weighed and then suspended in the tube. Suspended in the tube. The setup is then placed in sunlight. Now observation. After few hours, when the two vials are weighed and their weight are compared with initial weights. Now what do we observe here? We observe here that there is difference in weight of increase in weight of the two vials. So we write here, that is the vial V1, which is on the lower surface, shows greater increase in weight than V2. This is the observation. Now what is the reason behind it again? We have to explain that on the lower surface there are more stomata, so more transpiration takes place from the lower surface, and hence the anhydrous calcium chloride in vial V1 absorbs more water vapor than in the vial V2. Clear, student? Now during the experiment the two manometers show no difference in the level of liquid in the two arms, indicating that on the two surfaces there will be the same atmospheric pressure. Clear, student? So these were the two types of potometer. In next part we will study about the factors affecting the rate of transpiration, the significance of transpiration, its advantages and disadvantages, and other small topics. Clear, student?